Guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about why I'm taking on more risk. There is something really specific that happened to Bitcoin and the altcoins that I will show you today. And I can tell you it's not too late for you to jump in. But right now, let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here on this Friday. I was just looking for a second if I need to move my camera a little bit, but it's fine. So we're gonna jump in directly into the charts here because I have not a lot of time. The stream will be much shorter, at least I hope, than the rest of the week. So let's directly dive in what's going on here. So on the CME chart, I am not expecting huge surprises here based on the CME chart today. The most important thing for me is just, are we able to close above $100,000 today here, and will Bitcoin pull back over the weekend a little bit and basically start getting into a range here slightly below the closing price so that we get a pump by Monday above today's closing price and continue the upwards trajectory for Bitcoin. And at the same time, when Bitcoin is ranging here, I want to see altcoins popping off. You should potentially be able to remember in that in the past, when Bitcoin started its bull run and also altcoins started to get into the early stage of the heated phase of the bull run in the altcoin season, that usually over the weekend altcoins were pumping because people had time to spend on the charts. So, and I talk about retail, so retail is normally working 9 to 5 or 9 to whatever. They don't want to spend a lot of time on the charts during the week because they're already exhausted from their regular job. So what they're gonna do, they do it on the weekend. So, and they start also deploying cash on the weekend. So, and this usually goes in a bull run in altcoins, not into Bitcoin. So that's why I hope that over the weekend Bitcoin starts ranging and the retail market will deploy money into altcoins, which will then of course result in some altcoins at least popping off to the upside. I'm going to show you some of them here in a moment. So now when we look at Bitcoin on the weekly chart, here still everything is fine, nothing to worry about. We have, like I mentioned 2 days ago, almost recovered the whole downwards move here that we had earlier this week. So next week, from past experience in the bull run, we should get a nice juicy pump here to the upside, and somewhere up here over the next coming weeks, only from there we're going to get potentially then a substantial move to the downside. So, but I don't believe that this will have a huge effect on altcoins. We're going to talk about that when we are getting closer to that moment. So here on the 12-hourly chart, we are well above the VPVR cluster trading here currently. The stochastic is showing some weakness, but I'm not really concerned about this right now because the MACD is about to print a buy signal. The RSI is slightly turning up here to the upside. The most important level for Bitcoin right now to break is, first of all, here on the 4-hourly chart, that resistance cluster here. You can see every single time when we try to break out of it, we get hammered down. We also deviate slightly below that resistance area, and that just shows you how much strength in selling is in that resistance here still present in that zone here from $100,000 to $101,400 approximately. But at the same time, we are also putting in a really nice inverse head and shoulders pattern here. So we are about to complete this, and the neckline is sitting at around $102,000. So you see that level a little bit clearer, not on this chart, on the next chart. So, but this is also fine. So here on the MDX algo gradients, you see that the candle's getting pretty small here, and that is just because price is so compressed in that trading range here from $99,300 to $100,800 approximately. We are still below the weekly open but above the daily open, so that is in the short term bullish. But I still want to see here before we open the next weekly candle until Sunday that we get above here $101,500 and can hold this level at least on the 4-hourly chart. for like 3-4 candles, because that will establish then finally somewhat support for Bitcoin above $100,000 and will signal continuation in the following days to the upside. On the reactor indicator, we are getting here a small bearish divergence flashing right now, but I'm not really concerned about this because we are still in bullish territory here with decolorization, and we did not have here a massive wave, a second wave that usually follows after we get the first wave here, resulting in Bitcoin pushing here also into higher levels. On ZoomX, I have already taken on way more risk than I had previously done. As you can see, my available amount is down from $200,000 to $78,000. And now I keep deploying money here into the market. I have 4 positions here. I have Solana, Phantom, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. And like I said, I keep deploying more and more money into these positions here. Solana is currently my biggest position. I think when I'm fully allocated, I have $120,000 then in Solana. I will keep increasing on Bitcoin and also on Ethereum. And on Phantom, I still have also some limit orders, but I'm going to leave them as they are. I'm not going to touch them. They stay as they are. Again, if you want to trade on ZoomX, guys, without KYC, if you're in the US, somewhere in Europe, Germany, France, whatever, where you cannot trade on Bybit, use ZoomX with the link in the description below. You still get $45,000 worth of sign-up bonuses if you use that specific link. So take advantage of that while you still can. Now, on the liquidation levels, here you see clear as day why the $102,000 level is such a big resistance, because here there was a level from where we started the downwards move the first time. Then it was here confirmed resistance. Here again confirmed resistance, small pullback, now again resistance, small pullback, but we are still trading above the EMA ribbon, which is again a bullish indicator for us. Here we are also between, oh, I actually forgot to change the color here, squeezed between high leveraged short liquidation levels and high leveraged long liquidation levels to the downside, as you can see here. So price is somewhere in between. But I reckon that we're going to get that move here to the upside at some point today. So let me actually show if I, let me just quickly try to find a chart where I can show that to you guys. 1 hourly chart. No, not the 1 hourly chart. 4 hourly chart. So here 4 hourly chart, you see on the stochastic indicator, we only need a small push to turn around and get a buy signal, and Bitcoin will then push here in direction of $102,000. Will liquidate the late shorts that came in here. Will also start a short squeeze into the higher levels, potentially all the way up into 106, 105, 106, maybe all the way up to $110,000 really, really quickly. So the other option is that we first come down, take the long liquidity that came too late, and then take this as rocket fuel to squeeze to the upside. So now on the liquidation heat map, you see here when we took out the liquidity at $102,000 earlier yesterday, from there we start to come back down here slightly below $100,000. Here the lowest that I see is like $98,600. Still that level, not so sure if we actually get that. You know, we could stop a little bit before that. And then you see here the area of interest is above us at $104,000, $105,000 approximately here. That is usually acting as a magnet here for the price to climb to these levels because we have here the highest liquidity currently available for market makers just above us. Again, if you need more liquidity, really, really easy. Sign up on Bybit if you can. You get a $500 airdrop position still for another 5.5 days. You see time is running out here, so do it now. And you can trade any of these coins here that you see. It's really easy. You sign up, deposit $100, claim the voucher, use the voucher from the rewards hub, and all the profits belong to you. And like I said, many of these coins are discussed here during that live stream. So now when we go to Bybit, you see that I have here a lot of positions currently open. Most of them are in the green. I will not talk now about each single position, but you see here I have from 4 positions that I had originally, I have now 12 positions, and I'm ready to deploy more money, open more positions. And now I'm gonna explain you why in a moment why I'm actually taking on here more risk. So also here on Bybit you see I still have roughly $59,000 available. I have still money parked somewhere else if I need more money to cover either my ass or to open more positions. So both options are on the table here for me. Whatever happens first, so there my money is going. You should always make sure that you have money on the sideline that you can buy if you need to. So I have roughly, if I just throw it over right now in my mind, I should have another $50,000 to $60,000 lying around in other places that I can deploy if I need to, and send this to Bybit for my trades here. So one reason why I take on more risk in this market right now is because the dominance is perfectly following our trajectory that we had lined out already last week. So last week at some point, I think at the beginning of last week, so it's technically next week Monday already 2 weeks, that I had lined out that scenario where I said, hey, the dominance will come down, it will get a bounce at some point. We did not know from where the bounce will come, but we knew that this is the shape that or the fractal that the dominance will follow. And you see this is playing out exactly as I laid it out. So now the next thing is we don't know how low we will come or how shallow we will come here before we get that bounce on the dominance. It can go all the way to like 55.8%. It can stop here already, so it's something that we don't know, but the overall shape does and fractal does look like that, that trajectory that we keep following for the Bitcoin dominance to the downside. Now, the other reason why I was taking on more risk is that the RSI across the board, the RSI heat map for the crypto market is more or less neutral across the whole market. So here on the 4-hourly chart, on the 1-hourly chart, on the 12-hourly chart, so and only on the daily chart, and more or less on the daily too. So, and that was when I saw this today, and I think I saw this yesterday before I went to bed. I was like, okay, this looks good, so we have a lot of room to go to the upside. I can start to increasing my positions. I can crank up a little bit leverage here and there, and I can open more positions because the whole market has resetted after that initial move. We also saw some corrections yesterday already starting that I was talking about, where I laid out the exact plan how you can still take advantage of that and that you are not too late. And I'm going to show you also today how I got into positions or added to positions that were correcting even up to today and potentially as late as tomorrow morning, my morning tomorrow. So and then I think it will kind of stop and then the market will crank up and pushes to the upside again. Now here on the total free market cap, also here we still follow the lined out map that we have here. So I still expect that this is going to chop around here a little bit, so with one deviation below $1.04 trillion, and from that deviation we're gonna get the turnaround, come back into that support box and get then the continuation to the upside. Ethereum at the same time will, in my opinion, be strong and will hold that area here of $3,867 to $3,815 approximately. Once we are breaking here above $3,967, you're gonna see a quick acceleration from here to higher levels, and the first stop will be $4,387, as I also mentioned that yesterday. We are definitely on track here for everything because we are well above the EMA ribbon. We retested the EMA ribbon actually at the bottom, which is also bullish that we got a quick recovery from that. So and here the real continuation will happen when you see here this level broken. So and this is also last moment where I would get into Ethereum if you want to trade this into a new all-time high and past the new all-time high. So if you want to build a long-term position in Ethereum, that will be the last moment where I would start deploying money. Now, on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, also here you see that the weekly candle is recovering almost the whole downwards move here. Also here, next week's candle should break into the upward sloping trend line of that symmetrical triangle. Once we are in that range, we're gonna start to struggle a little bit, maybe a week or two, and then you see a candle like this on Ethereum really quickly out of nowhere, you know. So you're gonna see that Ethereum will gain in strength really surprisingly, and you will not see it coming. You know, you will not see it coming when this is happening, and Ethereum will make like a $600 move, $700 move, maybe even a $1,000 move to the upside. Yeah, and if you're not in Ethereum, you're gonna miss it, you know. And at the same time, some altcoins will explode with Ethereum. One of them might be LDO, Lido, and some other coins like Curve that are built on the Ethereum layer. So now when we look at Solana, Solana is losing a little bit of strength here on the shorter time frames. On the daily time frame, I'm not worried at all about what I see here, because the stochastic is pointing to the upside. The MACD will soon print a buy signal, and the RSI is flatlining here a little bit and pointing to the downside, and that is because here is some massive resistance in that golden ratio area from $222 to $227 approximately, and also all the way up here to $237. So there's multiple layers of huge resistance above us, and that's why Solana is struggling a little bit to break here higher. But once we clearing these levels here, you're gonna see that we're gonna start flying also really, really quickly with a huge expansion candle to the upside. So in the short term, we could come a little bit lower here. So the reason for that is I think I saw it earlier on the 4-hourly chart. Just want to have a look here again. Yes. So here you see the stochastic is pointing to the downside. Here is a little bit momentum fading out on the buy side, and the RSI is only right now slightly pointing here back to the upside. So if we get here a small push to $230, Solana might turn around here on the shorter time frames, which will spill over then into the daily time frame, and we get then the break that we need here above $250 for massive continuation for Solana. Then now I want to explain you how I'm actually trading these pullbacks, and I'm gonna explain you that here with Sui, because you saw Sui was one of the coins that exploded the heaviest on that recovery. And now you see here, let me actually remove that. You see here, I explained to you the other day that, I think it was yesterday when I explained to you that you're gonna see something like this, and then you see it breaking out, you know. So, and when it breaks out, at the breakout is the last moment where you should get in. So on the 1 hourly, you see it even better, you know. So, and the best moment to buy is always when we come down. You could have bought here, you could have bought somewhere down here, you could have bought another time here, and then on the break, and then you stop buying, you know. So, but I know some of you guys struggle with that. So what I did was the 3 phases plan is something that you also can use on shorter time frames. So I went today and laid it out on Sui as an example that you can see how I would have done it on the 50 minutes chart. So, and here you see, here I would have had my 3 phases. Now, earlier today, we were here for quite some time in the second phase. So here you could have had ample opportunity to get your layered orders filled, you know, where you would have then, from whatever money you would have had left from the original dip, let's say you would have had on Sui 50% left, you know, from all the money that you wanted to deploy on the original downwards move on that correction, and you were still now with 50% on the side. So you could have had these 50% represent now 100% of the money that you still want to deploy into Sui. So let me actually draw this here, 100%. So your remaining 50% are now 100% that you still wanted to deploy. So, and then you use the same schematic here that we used before. You know, from that 100%, you take 10%, 30%, 30%, and you still leave 30% on the side. So, and that means in the best case scenario, if only these areas here get filled, out of the 50% are 35% filled, and you have 15% still on the sideline to buy other dips on Sui, you know. So you would have gotten filled here in the second phase. Now we are starting to come back into the first phase. So you are still not too late to deploy here another 10%, you know, but I don't believe now on Sui specifically that you're going to get another chance to get here back into the second phase. So how did I come up with these phases on the 15-minute time frame? So there's different ways how you can do that. First of all, don't forget, I draw always first on the 1 hourly time frame a downward sloping trend line to establish where the resistance is that needs to be broken. And usually just below that downward sloping trend line, you have your second phase. Usually there is your second phase. And just above that trend line, you have your first phase. So even if you don't pull Fibonacci levels or you don't know how to pull them, you can just roughly place these boxes on simple support and resistance levels. So and the same here to the downside, simple support and resistance levels without any knowledge of Fibonacci levels, So and then okay, if here is my phase 2, I give it kind of the same space between phase 1 and 2 here to position my phase 3 if you don't know how to do Fibonacci. So now if you know how to do it, so how I did it, I used this from the low to the top, and you see here the 0.5 is somewhat in the middle of the second phase, and then here at my 1 there's close to the first phase, and okay, the golden ratio is a little bit above the middle of phase 2 and phase 3, So and you need to look then at support and resistance. Where do I have the most touch points here on the way up? On the way up here in the recovery, where it makes sense to have a moon back, so or another lottery ticket. If at some point you get a scam wick to the downside where you get filled, So now on that break here, it did not happen. So we broke immediately, and started to go here to the upside. So, but this is how I deploy more money in the market when I initially, let's say, I would have missed here this whole thing down here, So, and I would have also missed initially. Kind of here was the second phase, so or even the first phase, I cannot remember. But let's say I would have missed this all here, I would have missed this all. Then, okay, I would have made a new plan, a new plan where I would have laid out here another phase 3 plan on the 15 minutes chart to get here into the market or to redeploy more money. That's how you do it, So, and you see, it's working like a charm here on SUI. So I increased leverage to 10x, so I put back the same amount of money into the trade. I only have here $125 left. I still have a limit order somewhere. So if I click on SUI here on Alpha X, so you see here are still 2 limit orders that I have, so if it turns around for some weird reason, but I'm here up 251% currently, 2,250 more or less on my SUI trade, and I'm not done yet. SUI will go much higher. My target is around here. You can see it. I have $8 as a take profit point, and that will give me roughly $10,000 on that specific trade here. Again, if you want to trade decentralized without any KYC, then use Alpha X. You get initially $100 just for signing up there. Plus, if you deposit $100 out of your own pocket, you stand a chance to win $500 twice per week. Don't forget, guys, I'm gonna give away by the end of the stream 2 times $500 today. So you have a double chance here to win $500. If you wanna be the next lucky person, you know what to do, So there is a link in the description for that. Now, LDO broke here the downward sloping trend line already. Even if I take it from here, so and I would pull it down here. Doesn't matter, so how I pull it, but here I have more touch points. LDO had here also a nice break to the upside. I took profit on one of my LDO positions at $2.27, I think. When I saw it turning around, I had a stop loss in profit there. Now it will still pull back a little bit more. I think there is a chance that it will come all the way back here to that trend line to $2.08. And only bounce from here then back to the upside. So, but here the trend line, if it comes back to the trend line, this is basically representing the first phase. So I would here not deploy more than 20% of money that I would allocate into an LDO trade and leave the rest on the side, just in case that we come back lower at some point, or if you get here a nice leg to the upside and we start to do again the same pattern here, so then you lay out your zones where you want to buy, so, and then you follow that plan to deploy more capital into the market on LDO. So, but here my next target for LDO is $3.04, and then it will go really quickly into $4 and potentially higher. The next one is Phantom. Also, Phantom is most likely ready for the next leg to the upside. I want to see here if I draw, so you are still, so that's why I have that dashed line here. So you have here the dash downward sloping trend line. That is the major trend line that needs to get broken. Phantom, in terms of phases, this is still the second phase where we are in, as long as we are below that dashed line here of $1.22. And the third phase where you deploy the last 10% would be here in that area at $1.27, $1.29 approximately. So after $1.32, that's the last moment where I deploy personally money. After $1.32, I'm not putting more money into Phantom, and I let it run. And the simple reason for that is, maybe you can see it already. Let me see, where is my stuff here? So there, a huge W pattern is forming here. And this is a textbook W pattern that we are seeing here. So why is it textbook? Because we have here the lower low, we have here the higher low, it will not go lower than that. And from here, it's basically just a matter of time that we break out and move here really, really quickly into higher levels, because we have the Sonic upgrade coming up in 2 weeks. It's exactly today in 2 weeks that it's coming up. And now Phantom needs to start to accelerate, So I expect latest by next week massive moves here from Phantom to the upside. So don't get me wrong, I could be absolutely wrong with that, so that Phantom will not explode because of the simple fact that the Sonic upgrade is happening. It could flop and price will not go up because of it. But we are in a bull run, So the chances are in our favor that it's actually happening. So, and that's why I'm betting so big on Phantom with the Sonic upgrade. That's actually happening. If it's not happening, it's fine. It will still go up, so to like $2, $3, $5 in this bull run. It will just take longer, to be happening. So, but I still remain bullish here on that upgrade, and have conviction here that we're gonna get next week nice acceleration to the upside. Also on the daily chart, look here. So we did not even warm up yet to get here any nice moves into higher levels again. So the indicators are still somewhat neutral to slightly bullish, but nothing that says, hey, there is no upside over the next, let's say, 10 days for Phantom. So here in the short term, when we break $1.22 and can establish support now over the next couple of days here, we should get a nice pop here into higher levels. So I'm gonna have a quick look here at I think it's Flare, FLR. I'm not sure, so I need another chart for this quick here. So also with about to break here again. Still have my whiff trade, but it's plus minus 0. So Flare really quickly. So let's have a look. Man, you are always the guy with the strangest coins, So I can tell you already on a daily chart, I don't like this coin really much because he has so many wicks everywhere, So and the candles look really strange. That just shows me here is not a lot of liquidity in that coin, So if I would trade here with $20,000, I would change the structure of the chart most likely for a day, or at least for like 8 hours. If I would dump $20,000 market, market sell in that coin, So if you have like $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 in this coin, it's fine. You get in and out pretty easily. But I think if you have $20,000, $50,000 and you market sell this, you're gonna change the structure of the chart for a day, and it needs to recover from this. But here on the daily chart, it looks super oversold right now on a stochastic RSI, also on the MACD. So as soon as it breaks here, this downward sloping trend line at 3 cents and 1, 3 cents and 2. 3 cents and 2 is the level. When it breaks 3 cents and 2, it should move here into that sell cluster where we have a lot of sell orders at $4 and 4 cents. 4 cents and 4 cents 0.2. So really quickly, so how much percentage gain is this from here? So this is a 36% move. So that's not bad. That's not too bad. I don't believe that this is going to roll over and go here into the underlying buy cluster all the way down to 2 cents. There is some strength in here, but it needs to break this downward sloping trend line. So now let's get back. We were here at Phantom Coty. So Coty, a lot of people were panicking today. I was happy actually that it dropped because I could buy more. So I'm with my Coty trade a little bit degenerate because it's on cross. I'm trading this on cross, but did I increase leverage on this yet? I'm not sure. Did I? No, I did not. But I added more money to it. So I added $3,000 more into my Coty trade. And you see, soon it's gonna flip positive. It was yesterday positive. I was up $5,000 at some point. So it's a matter of time. So I can be patient here because also here, beautiful. First of all, V-shaped recovery and somewhat an inverse head and shoulders forming here. Once it breaks this 18 cents 4 level, it's going to send really quickly past 21 cents. It will happen really quickly in my opinion. So that's why I'm also remaining bullish here. Also here, I was watching this downward sloping trend line that broke now. I was using this trend line to add more to my Coty position in the same manner that I just explained it. Where I used here exactly that scenario, so every time when we came lower along that trend line and created a lower low along that trend line, so I bought every time at the low, and now we broke it, so now I'm not buying. I missed here the last opportunity to buy like 2% lower, so now I let it run. Now I let it run. I put already $3,000 more yesterday into it, which is 20%, which was a 20% increase of the position overall. And now I let it run to the upside. So now the next one, Rune. Rune is a little bit different, so I have to mention it here on the 1 hourly chart because, but I have seen this before with Rune. So Rune established here a downward sloping trend line and then wiggles out of it. So without actually sending immediately, but when it starts to wiggle here and just consolidates, it creates higher lows in that 1 hourly structure, so you see here higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then at some point it goes, so really quickly. So and this is how this is looking currently. Here, I would say this is still in the, let me actually draw here another trend line. So I would say, yeah, so it's just entering the first phase. So I would, if I would have money for the second phase, I would maybe deploy here 25%. So I would take 10%, 15% out of the second phase, put it into the first phase to not miss that break here. Because once we break $6.62, we should also get a really nice pop here to $7.12, potentially all the way up here back into that resistance of $7.68. Because on the 4 hourly chart, no, where is it on the 12 hourly chart? There's a lot of room to go here to the upside. It might take 48 hours, but within 48 hours, maybe 72 hours, I see Rune somewhere above $7.12. The next one is Render. Render has also here 2 downward sloping trend lines that you can use. One is this one. We are in the golden ratio. The golden ratio represents for Render currently the second phase where you can still layer your orders. Oh no, you need to start to buy actually on market as we go up, but this is fine, So and when we get here to this downward sloping trend line, there you can deploy another 10% for the first phase, So and then you're fully deployed until you see the same pattern repeating over and over again, So and you do the same thing again, and then it goes. That's how we play it in this market. So the next one is Celestia. Celestia looks like it wants to break. Here, I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence, guys, to open a Celestia trade because I want to see that the stochastic RSI pinches to the upside, or that I get here a little bit more of a pinch on the RSI, so or that we get a 30-minute close above $7.33. Then I would open a trade in Celestia. So here the golden ratio, that golden ratio here that I pulled from all the way down here that is your first phase, you know, so don't mistake that with another phase. This is the first phase. You had on the 1 hourly chart here on the bottom your second phase, you know, on the way up. So and all the way down here would have been the third one. So here, if we break back into the golden ratio, that's your first phase. But here also, I would maybe take 15% out of the second phase, deploy here 25% in that range before it sends to the upside and then starts to consolidate again. Here, the immediate target to the upside would be for me $8.78. There, I would most likely increase my position if we consolidate a little bit below that in that pullback. So that's a 20% move. 20% move to the upside, then most likely you get a small pullback again where you can then in ample time add more money before it starts to send to higher levels, most likely in the direction of $10. Then AVAX, so AVAX also has broken now slightly above the downward sloping trend line. Here again, not more than 25% is what I would allocate. If I would not have an AVAX position already, you should have already one. Otherwise, here is your second phase. And here is your your third phase, but it looks already like the third phase you're not going to get again. So you keep that money on the side when we break it to the upside and start consolidating another time. So we also broke here this small falling wedge pattern on the 1 hourly chart, and the target would be all the way back up here at $55.43, which was yesterday's high, and where my AVAX position was almost racking up $20,000 in profits. The next one is Jasmine. So I gave you in Telegram a Jasmine trade. So here, just that you understand why we are underwater, here is a big resistance level currently on the 4 hourly chart. You have, if you don't know yet, I'm a breakout trader. So I always bet on a breakout, you know, so and sometimes we pull back first a little bit and then get the breakout, you know, so that happens. But I can tell you the deeper we get into this bull run, the more likely it becomes that I will be more often right than wrong when I send trades like that, you know. So right now I'm still a little bit more wrong than right in the terms of timing, you know, not in terms of that we break out, just in terms of timing. But this will change, you know. You're gonna see it. The more we advance into the altcoin season, the more accurate it will actually become when I see something like this, and that will of course then result in a good entry. So because I see that some guys sometimes complaining and they say, hey, I give entries here, you know, and now price is here, you know. So it's okay, you know. I can wait a day, you know. The trade is not running away, you know. So and 2%, how much is this, you know? So just as an example, yeah, okay, this would be a little bit catastrophic. So but let it from current price. So let's say from current price level, give it to me. Current price, let's say it goes down here. Okay, 2%, you know, okay, maybe 2%, you know. So do I care about 2%? I don't really care about 2%, you know, because once this is breaking, it's going to send to the upside. So here, next level that I'm looking at, come on. Here for take profit, there we go. So yeah. My take profit level is here the extended golden ratio, not even the first golden ratio. I don't care about this one because from the entry that I had given, which was kind of like here, so that is only a 7% move. What do I want with a 7% move? I'm here for a 66% move to the upside. That's what I'm here for in a bull market, you know. So and I can tell you once we break here that level at 4 cents and 6. I'm going to add a little bit more money, and at the golden ratio, I'm going to add a little bit more money. And once we have established support above here, and then I let it ride to the upside. Then I have like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in this trade, you know. So, and when this goes up 60% on 5x, on 6x leverage, actually, I make again roughly $20,000 on this trade. So now let me go quick here into the chat to see what's happening here. Like I said, I have not a lot of time, guys, so I'm gonna only pick like 1 or 2 coins quick. 2 coins that I did not talk about in a long time. One of them is definitely Phil. Phil is for a long time on my radar. Let's have a look on Phil, because I think I also want to still deploy a little bit more money into Phil. So here I still have old levels on Phil, crazy. So here on Phil, Maybe I want to repull these levels. Let's see here. Where is this coming from? From here. So this makes more sense. Yeah. So here on fill, we are at a support resistance flip line currently. On the daily chart, it looks good. So this should send soon to the upside. But I want to see here on the 4-hourly chart how this is actually looking. Candle-wise, it's fine. We're consolidating. Yeah, no. So there's a pop coming. There's a pop coming on fill, on Filecoin. So you see here, you have here again your downward sloping trend line. We're somewhat still in the second phase here before we get the pop. All the way up here from $7.60 to $7.30. That's your first phase. That's the last moment where I would deploy capital when we break above $7.60. Because then it's most likely also going in directions of $10 here really quickly. So if you get another flush to the downside, then anything close to $6 is your third phase where you can deploy a lot of money. But everything looks like that this will at least go up here to like $7 here today to test that downward sloping resistance and potentially even break already here to the upside. Another one that let's see. So let's see. I was gonna do one more. Let's do Gala. I did not do Gala for a long time. And then I'm gonna give away $1,000, 2 times $500. So Gala, let's see how Gala looks. So Gala, same. It looks exactly the same, at least in terms of candles. Indicators also almost the same. Here actually I see on the MACD a little bit more bullish momentum right now than on Filecoin, and also the RSI is pointing up, I think, more heavily to the upside. But again, you need that break. You need that break here of 5 cents and 3 for continuation. Only when you get a break, we're gonna move really quickly to $6 and 4. So that is, I don't know, 20% move. Yeah. See, even without measurement in my head, I knew that's roughly 20%. So it's 21%, 20% move here initially. But I would also aim for higher. So because now is the time to get long-term positions before it's too late. So and here, see here, 8 cents and 3. 10, almost 11 cents, and here 13 cents, 6. These would be my take profit levels from current price. So if I go down here, so look at this. If we break here at the 0.5 level is actually the level that we need to break for continuation. Look at this here. This is a 155 move, 155% move on Gala. I can tell you, Gala can do something like this in like 3 weeks. So I've seen many times. Once the gaming sector is warming up and you see coins pumping, especially coins like Gala, so they're gonna move quickly. 2-3 weeks and you're gonna have like the 155% on Gala really quickly. So now let's give away money. Let's give away some money, guys. And let me get back my old chart here before I do that. Come on. Back flare, give me a whiff chart. So here, random numbers generator. So let's see who will get some money today. So we have some new people here on that list, 10 to 30. So let's see the first one, 10 to 30 on Alpha X. Number 26. So number 26 is here. 16782911. If that's your number on Alpha X, your account number, send an email to info@amcrypto.us within 24 hours, guys. You have from now 24 hours to do it. If you don't do it, I give the $500 tomorrow to somebody else. You have to do it quickly, and then my team will get you sorted. The second one is 22. So, and 22 is here, 16783883. If that's your account number, same thing, send an email with a screenshot that this account belongs to you to info@amcrypto.us, and my team will sort you out with if you do this within the next 24 hours. Otherwise, tomorrow, 2 other people will have the chance. And if you sign up on Alpha X today and deposit $100, you will be included tomorrow if some of these 2 persons, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, if they are not claiming the $500 until tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you with more money tomorrow.